clicks, couple clicks, couple clicks, couple clicks. Woo! Welcome everybody to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room for all of your beer needs. They have over 300 to choose from at all their locations. Live music, entertainment, trivia. Sometimes we even do live shows there. Make sure you go check out Fatty Beer. Honestly, one of the very best spots to go watch a sporting event, whether it's the Bills, the Sabres, the MLB playoffs, any NFL game, happy hour. They have it all there. Just great vibes all around. And, of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel. Whether you need a shirt, a hat, or a hoodie, Sabres, Bills, whatever it might be, maybe go check these out. We got the hashtag GOATED Letterman hats there. We have the RJ Letterman hat, some other cool stuff. And, of course, they have a bunch of Bill stuff, too. But let's get right into it. Because you know why? Because the Sabres get their first win in the Lindy Ruff Era 2.0, baby. They defeat the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. I don't care if they didn't have Matthew Tkachuk. I don't care if they didn't have Alexander Barkov. I don't care if Spencer Knight was in net. Spencer Knight was taken in the same draft as Devin Levi. They both played against each other in the gold medal game in 2021. This is actually the first time they faced off against each other since that game in 2021, where Devin Levi in that tournament had a 0.75 goals against average, and I think it was like a 0.964 save percentage and 3 shutouts, where honestly, if Zegras didn't have a fantastic tournament, Devin Levi probably wins the tournament MVP. Redemption for him tonight. Again, first time facing off against Spencer Knight since then, getting the big W. And again, the first W of the new Lindy Ruff Era. A lot to unpack with this game. A lot to unpack. You can talk about Jordan Greenway. You can talk about definitely Jordan Greenway. Lindy Ruff shortening the bench. He talked about in his press conference after the game how he knew that they would have some days off coming up, and he cut it down to 3 lines, which is why he dressed Dennis Gilbert tonight for that 7th defenseman spot, because he knew he wanted to empty the tanks of the better players, because he knew he could, because he knew he had these days coming up. That's something we haven't seen in Buffalo in a very, very long time. A coach intentionally shortening the bench because he just wants to put the players out there that give him the best chance to win. Zach Benson, at first, we thought maybe that he was falling victim to that, but then Lindy Ruff mentioned in the post game that he still believes that Benson is hurt. So maybe he just didn't want to push him too much. That definitely could be it. But yeah, dude, just a lot to unpack. Let's talk about Jordan Greenway. We'll get right into that. Jordan Greenway had easily, in my opinion, the best game of his Sabres career. He was all over the ice. He mixed it up on a couple different lines tonight, but his goal was a thing of beauty, an absolute thing of beauty. It's a typical Lindy Ruff goal. He goes hard to the net, bears down, finds that loose puck, and then honestly a fantastic down to one knee, fist pump Selly. Just easily his best game as a Sabre. And we've heard Lindy Ruff talk about Jordan Greenway and how much he likes his game. And it showed in spades tonight. I think Lindy is going to put Jordan Greenway in a lot of good situations where he can succeed and contribute to this team more than just being a physical big body out there. I loved everything I saw from Jordan Greenway tonight, and I just want to hear your guys' comments too. So we'll go right into the peanut gallery. We already got some comments showing up. Our boy Mauricio, Cousins needs to score, hit, win face-offs, assist, play, make, defense. Yeah, I know Cousins seems a little snake bitten right now, but that line as a whole, Mauricio, whether you want to agree with it or not, that line produced tonight. They were all over the ice. They were a menace out there. It was Kulik, Cousins, and Quinn. That was a very, very good line tonight. Woo hoo 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 double woo. Give Nature Boy Ric Flair Greenway impressive again. Yeah, I think everybody was impressed with Jordan Greenway tonight. He got first star honors. He had a goal and an apple. Again, just all over the ice physically. He was in that scrum. I think it was Greer. Greer took a couple extra whacks at Levi in the first period, happened right in front of me, and Greer and Greenway was not having it, and they both went coincidental minors. I love that because not only is he showing up on the score sheet, but like he's not going to let you just take extra. We've seen guys take extra whacks at the goalies here in the years past, and it go like uncalled for, like not be answered for. And Jordan Greenway wasn't having it. So I love that out of him. I loved his game tonight. From Kevin, I'm talking about a much needed win. This was it. Yeah, you did not want to go 0-4. You just did not. I think there's a bit like I tweeted it out on the Twitter machine. I said, this is like a 10,000-pound elephant being lifted off the back right now. And now you can get JJ Paterka healthy, get him back in your lineup at some much needed depth. And again, I even said it, Yuri Kulik should not leave Buffalo. Don't let him leave Buffalo. He no longer belongs in Rochester. He belongs in Buffalo, New York. And he should belong in this lineup every single game because he's going to just keep getting more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable. You want him in this lineup, I think, on a nightly basis. He adds some scoring depth. Again, maybe he was the depth we needed. Again, you still should have added in the offseason to your top six, but maybe he is a missing link on that second line with Cousins and Quinn. You can slide Benson down to that third line with Zucker and whoever it might be. Was it McLeod? Just adding more depth. Like I would feel much more comfortable with one of those two guys on your third line. Just gives you more depth and just gives you more flexibility. You're not relying so much on your top two lines. Love that. Some more comments here. Also from Kevin, Ruff really reduced Benson's ice time, thinking he is still injured and did not look right, or is it a matter of trust? Lindy Ruff did say in the post game that he still does believe this is an injury thing. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. What is it that Cousins is doing to get kicked out of faceoff so often? I think it's a matter of like who's supposed to put their stick down first or last, something like that. I don't know. It happened. Me and my buddy Mike, we commented on it a couple of times tonight. Don't think we've ever seen somebody or a team get thrown out of this many faceoffs before. Krebs played with good energy on first line after Benson was benched. Again, I don't think Benson was benched. I think it was just a health thing. I don't think that Lindy wanted to risk further injury because he just didn't believe that. He said in the post game that he doesn't think that Benson is at 100%. Jason Zucker looked great. He did look very good. Looked good. It was the first time, I think, since the start of the season, I noticed him a lot. And again, Kevin, I couldn't agree with you more. Kulik needs to stay in Buffalo. 100%. 100%. You do not send him to Rochester. He maintains permanent residence from here on out in Buffalo, New York. Looks like Ruff's message is starting to get through to them. I would like it if they would be more careful with their obvious wild slashing penalties, though. Good thing we were up when Greenway did it. Yeah, again, Greenway did make that mistake tonight. But you want to know what? They didn't pay for it. They got the 5-2 win. Alex talked with that final nail in the coffin. Nice to see it. And it's nice to see that arena just go wild the way they did, right? Like it was just so needed, man, because the previous couple games after they came back from Prague, and then obviously the home opener against LA not going in our favor, you needed that arena to be buzzing. You need to give people a reason to cheer. And like I said, I was there for the LA game. I was there tonight. Just a fantastic atmosphere. My buddy got that big foot-long nacho thing or double whatever, 2-foot-long nacho thing, whatever it was. I got munched into that a little bit. That was cool. But as you all saw, I tried the Dominator at the home opener. I'll never pay $39 again for a sandwich, but the Dominator sandwich is, in fact, unbeatable, just like the Dominator himself. So if you are a fan of Dominik Hasek, as I am, it's worth at least getting one time. But I'll never buy that again just because it's $39. Pretty ridiculous. Another thing I want to touch on too is that Lindy Ruff shortened the bench. As I touched on it earlier. We haven't seen that especially this early in the season. Lindy Ruff was notorious for it in his first stint, with Buffalo. Obviously, he said that with the days off that we have coming up, he felt that it was needed to give the players, the playmakers, the guys you need to rely heavily on to produce, give them more ice time. And you can empty their tanks tonight because, again, they have some time off coming up with a little bit of break in between games. So I love it, man. I love it. Couldn't agree with it more. I've been a big advocate of shortening the bench pre Lindy Ruff. It's for me, it's like if players aren't producing, like your bottom four is a shutdown line, They're not a scoring line. They shouldn't be playing anything more than like 12 minutes a night, right? In my opinion. I know Malenstein didn't get a lot of ice time tonight, which is fine by me. I mean, again, he hasn't been very noticeable. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can, elaborate a little bit more. But again, I didn't notice him because he wasn't on the ice tonight. But I did notice a lot of tonight? Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck. Notice a lot of Peyton Krebs. Notice now Jordan Greenway. These guys being given more ice time, more opportunity to produce. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't need to see fourth line players out there. Again, no Sam Lafferty tonight, just so they can. Denny Gilbert, local guy, makes a Sabres debut, and I thought he looked fantastic. He's being physical early, had a big hit along the boards in the first period. I would not be surprised if you see a little bit more of Denny Gilbert. I think he is a very, very Lindy Ruff type player. So he even mentioned it in the postgame, I believe. So happy for him being a part of that. Again, I'm pretty sure he was a local kid, probably watched the Sabres, watched Lindy Ruff growing up. So being a part of that first Lindy Ruff win in this second era probably meant something to him. Just I'm sure it did to guys like Alex Tuck getting that, again, scoring in that game, or scoring tonight in that game. So I don't know. This is what you're supposed to do as a coach. Like when you talk about responsibilities of a coach, here is a perfect example. These guys are professional athletes. They've been playing hockey all their life. They've played under who knows how many different systems. Like, you don't need to teach these guys to play hockey. Yeah, you teach them a system and the structure, and when the puck drops, you expect them to adhere to that structure. But here's a big example of a coach being a coach, and I couldn't agree with it more. I love that he shortened the bench tonight. And, some guys did fall victim of that. You could say Zach Benson, but again, I think that was more or less due to injury. But guys like Brett Malenstein, Sam Lafferty even play tonight. Other guys that, when you need a big win, when you need a win, you don't rely on your Malensteins, your Laffertys, like even your Zuckers. I know Zucker's a veteran in this league, but you're going to rely heavily on the guys you're paying a lot of money to, your Tage Thompsons, your Dylan Cousins, your Rasmus Dahlins, your Owen Powers. You're going to rely on your Alex Tuck. Those are the guys you want out there producing for you. You want to give them as much ice time as you can, especially in a situational night where you're staring 0-4 directly in the eyes and you're like, you can't afford that to happen. This is such a big win. Such a big win. I'm elated by it. Some more comments here in the peanut gallery. What's the over-under of when he will finally score a power play goal? I don't know, man. Their entries are tough tonight. I thought their entries are much better last game. But at some point, maybe you got to start playing a little dump and chase hockey. I mean, you bring some of these guys in for speed. You want to be a fast team. Well, have them dump the puck in and use that speed to be first to the puck and win a puck battle and gain possession and start working it around. They had a couple good looks, but again, the power play didn't look like a power play tonight. Yeah, I do believe that Lindy Ruff is a better coach than Donnie Nichols. Not that I think Don Granato is a terrible coach. I think, he'll go on to have success somewhere else. I just don't know if he needs to take the lessons he learned in Buffalo wherever he goes next. And I think there is a good opportunity to be a good head coach at some point. What is wrong with Lafferty? I think it was just a healthy scratch. I think he wanted to shorten the bench, like I said before. And, he played Denny Gilbert as a seventh defenseman. And he just wanted to give more ice time to players that he needed out there to produce to get a win. So Kevin, I think Granato couldn't get them into the defensive structure if he was that rough has shown so far with the same guys. Okay, you guys are just kind of talking each other in the chat. Okay. Yeah, and another thing too, Devin Levi had I thought Devin Levi played very well over in Prague in the game he got in there against New Jersey, and I thought he played very, very well tonight. He was relied upon in the first period, made some big saves. I think that again, UPL and goaltending has been a problem. This isn't like me advocating Levi over UPL at all. I think UPL definitely has played well in every game he's played in, but it's nice to see Devin Levi get in there, being given a big opportunity against the team that traded him to Buffalo. I don't think Levi would probably hold a grudge against that. I think he got more of an opportunity here in Buffalo than he would have ever gotten in Florida, sitting behind who he would have to sit behind. But I think that this is some nice redemption. On two different levels. Obviously, getting the win against your former team, and obviously getting, as I mentioned earlier, getting the win versus Spencer Knight, because people seem to think that he stole that gold medal. Stole that gold medal from him. I love the Levi. We call it the Levi redemption game. A couple clicks for him. Devin Levi, again, in that first period was very, very good. Made some key saves. Nothing really could do on either goal. The one was a beautiful, beautiful passing play from Reinhardt. I think it was to Bennett. Nothing you can do. Nothing any goalie really do on that shot. And then I forget who it was. The first goal left wide open. Oh, it was Schmidt. Schmidt left wide open in the high slot and unimpeded and just beat him top shelf. So both goals were not on Levi. So I thought, when he was called upon to make a big save, he made a big save. Very, very happy with the game that Devin Levi had. Couldn't be more happy. It's just, I don't know what Lindy's plans are in terms of if it's going to be a goalie rotation, if he's going to go with the hot hand. I mean, who are we going to see? I think it's Pittsburgh next. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is Pittsburgh next. Actually, take a look right here real quick. I believe it is Pittsburgh. Let's check it out. Yes, we got Pittsburgh on Wednesday. So again, they don't play again until Wednesday. So going back to that, how he shortened the bench, he's going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday to get these guys back rehabbed. Hopefully we see Paterka. We know he's been practicing. You saw him present the MVP vest. I guess they're giving a vest to whoever they deem to be the player of the game. Paterka gave it to Samuelsson, which was pretty cool. Samuelsson, unknown, very rare goal scorer, got one tonight when Spencer Knight was swimming around like a fish in the crease, just slipped underneath him. So a couple defensive goals like Yoki Haru of a nice pass from Duane, and then again Samuelsson taking advantage of a lot of chaos going on in the offense, for Spencer Knight, below the dots, and had no clue where that puck was, and got the puck on net, pucks to the net, and great things happen. You get rewarded when you get pucks to the net, and that's what happened. I thought Spencer Knight did not look comfortable at all tonight. I know he was part of the players assistance program for a while. I was really happy to see that, he's heading back in the right direction in terms of his career. But I think that he was really rattled by this Sabres team tonight and, what they were able to do offensively. Again, bearing down on their shots, getting bodies to the net, not really letting him at all in any way get very comfortable. So, yes, I said it in between periods, and keep this guy rattled. Don't let him get comfortable. Don't offer him an opportunity to get comfortable. Pucks to the net, crash, find those rebounds. Even when he covers up, make sure there's a body right in front of him so he knows there's a guy coming. Because that's almost like hearing footsteps. When you say we're wide receiver here, when you hear talk about a wide receiver, how he drops the ball because he hears the footsteps. Let let these goalies hear the footsteps. Even if it's an easy cover, you need a guy right there. Don't give up on the play. Let him know that you are right in his grill, right in his kitchen. And they'll be thinking about that during the game. I know I would be, knowing that there's probably somebody crashing that every time that puck comes anywhere near me. It's going to affect your overall game. It's just going to. Tage Thompson, last game, the guy felt very snake bitten to me. Had quite a few shots, most of which went wide of the net. Just the guy just did not seem comfortable tonight. Complete opposite Tage Thompson that we got tonight. Right between the wickets, as RJ would say on his goal. I thought he protected the puck very well, carried the puck very well. Obviously, a couple guys interchanging on that top line with him and Tuck. At one point, it was Benson. We saw Greenway on the line. We saw Krebs on the line. Krebs looked very good on that top line. I thought, he looked comfortable. Not saying that should be like something that you should look at and think that, that's a new solution. Because obviously when JJ Paterka is healthy, that's the guy that needs to be there. But I thought Krebs looked very good and very comfortable on that top line. So a couple clicks for him. And I couldn't be more happy with the effort tonight. And not that the game in LA, like the effort was bad. It was just, there was like a number of things. Obviously starting 0-2 in Prague was part of it. Just watching a team just have a top six that wasn't contributing. And that's, in the first three games was very non-existent. 3 goals in 3 games, just like the headlines are writing themselves. Sabres aren't going to compete and are not going to be able to, compete for a playoff spot, this, that, and the other. Very, very good to see that, they were able to break through tonight for 5 goals and a 5-2 win and get some of these guys on the score sheet, because that's going to help with, with confidence and swagger. And now you need guys like the next guys that needs to be our guys. You still want to be your Tage. You still want to be Tuck, but you need it to be Quinn next and Cousins next and Benson next. And when Paterka gets back, you need those guys to start getting that confidence in themselves back, because you are desperately going to need them, because you're not going to be able to face a team's bet. If you start winning, you're not going to be facing teams' backups every night then. You're not always going to be playing a team without their number one and their top 2 players like we did tonight. We took advantage of a situation that was given to us. I mean, through no fault of our own. It's not like it's our fault that those guys that Parkov got hurt. It's not our fault that Kachuk got sick. It's not our fault that they decided. Indirect, I guess it is our fault, because we started 0-3. But Spencer Knight, got the start tonight. Instead of Bobrovsky. That's not on us. We were just dealt the hand we were given, and we went with it, and we took advantage of it. And but it's not going to be like that every time. And you need these guys, your Quinns, your Cousins, your Kulik, your Benson, your Zucker. You need those guys to start contributing. And you need it sooner rather than later. Levi was good. Nice to have two guys in the net. Yeah, where before we couldn't even get one. Love that 2-on-0 right pad save and the back flop when the puck bounced off the boards on him. Yeah, looked great. I thought, his puck tracking was great. I thought that, he wasn't really given any second opportunities. He was swallowing up pucks pretty well. Had a nice glove save there and the shorthanded chance. Yeah, he looked very calm and poised in net tonight. Since you were there, was there a feeling in the arena that when Florida scored first? A little bit. I mean, you were getting outshot by quite a bit to start in the first period. I think at one point, like, shots were like 10-3 or something. So you're kind of thinking like, oh God, here we go, long night, 0-4, staring her in the face. But again, impressed with the way the team responded and didn't give up on themselves and tied it up real fast. And then with Greenway, and then Tage comes down like 30 seconds later and gives them the lead. And they never looked back. They never gave up that lead after that. So nice to see them just come back from being down early, tie it, almost immediately take the lead, and just not let it go, because that is not something we're used to seeing from the Sabres. Explain this week's NHL waiver claims. Can the Sabres find improvements? Bottom six or top 6? I mean, teams don't put players on waivers if they're top 6 players. I mean, bottom 6 players, sure. I don't really see there any help unless you make a trade. I don't see any help coming to your top 6 via the waiver wire, honestly. Krebs, when are we going to see some stats, better results? What is his identity? How long do we need to wait for his potential? I mean, the Sabres were willing to wait. They waited him out for his contract. They could have let him walk. They signed him to most thought it was an overpay. I think it was a little over $1 million for what he produced last season. I think Krebs is a playmaker. We saw it a couple times tonight. A couple of nice dishes. I think Krebs he's not like a finisher. He's a playmaker. He's gonna find you an open space. He's gonna create lanes for you to get open to. I like Krebs. I just need more from him. Just like you said, Mauricio. I need more from him. Couldn't agree with you more. There isn't really anything to complain about tonight. They stood up for each other. They were physical. They didn't allow teams to take liberties with their goaltender. They were crashing the net constantly. I have nothing, almost literally nothing to complain about. And I can't wait till Wednesday when they play Pittsburgh. That's a very winnable game. You can go from being 0-3 to 2-3 real fast. And I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I can't remember if is that an away game? Are they home or away there? I want to say that's an away game. Let's see here. Yep, Pittsburgh away, Blue Jackets away, Blackhawks away. I mean, you could easily go from being 0-3 to 4-3 in the matter of by the end of next week. You could. Those are 3 very winnable games: the Blue Jackets, the Penguins, and the Blackhawks. Then you're back on home ice against Dallas, a very tough matchup, where you could be potentially 5-3 or 4-4, back at 500. So we'll see. I think you have some very, very winnable games here. I'm going to take you guys through some of the post-game comments. I know we mentioned some of the stuff earlier, but let's take a look via Brian Koziel, who is always on top of the post-game comments right after the game. Actually, hold on. How can I forget? This is almost criminal of me to forget. Rob Ray. Congratulations, Razor. Rob Ray will be inducted into the Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame. Couldn't be more happier for a better guy who, when you think of the Buffalo Sabres, one of the first names you think of, top 5 names you think of, is Rob Ray. The guy bleeds blue and gold, bleeds the goat head. He may not have been a guy that produced on the ice, but, and Lindy Ruff joked about it too. In the post game, he gave you a sense of security out there. You always felt like you were protected when Rob Ray was out there, and that meant something, especially back then. So couple clicks for Rob Ray. And in the chat, any favorite Rob Ray memories? Let's see them. I'm interested to see your favorite Rob Ray moments. One of mine has nothing to do with a fight. Will always be that goal he scored against Toronto off the tip in front, and watching him celebrate like a little kid when the Sabres were on route to a Stanley Cup final against Dallas. But seeing Rob Ray score that goal against the Maple Leafs, it's fantastic. I remember it like it was yesterday, even though I was a kid. Big goal. I would say probably the biggest of his career, probably one of his more memorable moments. I know some of you guys in the chat, any favorite Rob Ray memories, please let me hear them, because I'm interested for sure. One moment here, get that banner up, because we got to show some respect to the Razor. Rob Ray to be inducted to the Sabres Hall of Fame. And what a nice way they did it. They had Brian Miller and Dominic Hasek make the announcement on the new video scoreboard. They were sitting side by side. They talked about Razor's accomplishments on and off the ice, and then made the announcement. Razor had his family in attendance, which was pretty cool. There is much more of a deserving guy of that honor like that. I mean, I don't think they would ever go as far as like retiring his number. I guess the Sabres have done crazier things, but like, um, definitely without a doubt, without a shred of doubt, deserving to be in the Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame and very much long overdue. Um, Rob Ray scored on his first and last shifts. That's amazing. I always knew he scored on his first shift. I never knew he scored on his last shift, which would have been with Ottawa, unfortunately, not with Buffalo, which sucks. Favorite Rob Ray memory, knocking out Dennis Vale. Yeah, I remember that fight very well. Yeah, you always remember this. You always think when you think of the fights, you think of the fights with Ty Domi, and they're like best friends. They're like best friends, him and Ty. They went out there because they knew their rules on the team. They knew what they had to do. Yeah, I think about those fights all the time. I remember the fight in Quebec where he fought a fan who jumped over the boards. And one of my favorite parts about that is like during the post game, he's got this beautiful mullet and he's talking about it. And he's like, oh, yeah, this guy is looking over the glass and he thinks he's going to hop over. Like, oh, what's this guy going to do? And then Rob Ray is like, yeah, so we had to kind of like rough him up a little bit. I'm like, if you watch that video, Rob Ray did more than roughed him up. The man straight up assaulted the fan. But you don't jump the boards and try and jump into a team's bench. That's what's going to happen. So it's that guy's fault. Lots of memories, some great Rob Ray memories. And just as he's been on the program with us now twice. Once as an interview, one-on-one interview, and then another time we did a live watch along during COVID where we watched the Game 7 against in '97 against the Ottawa Senators, where Derek Plant scored one of my favorite RJ Call goals of all time. Are you ready, Legion of Doom? Rob Ray was him, Barnaby, where they were chirping each other. It was great. Dixon Ward, Derek Plant. This is back when Cully was on the show with us every night. He landed a solid 15 punches easily. If you haven't seen that video, I urge you, please go watch it. It's fantastic. There is indefinite parity NHL this season. Look at the scoreboard. Crazy. Utah is 3-0. So-called bad teams are winning. I mean, Utah, are they a bad team? It's the Arizona Coyotes, but like they had great players. They had a great core, great young, fast team, a great coach in Turigny. Yeah, I don't think Utah was destined to be a bad team. If it's an expansion team, that's might be one thing, which you can't even guarantee expansion teams are going to be bad because look at, Vegas. Seattle was successful pretty early on, Yeah, I'd have to disagree. Derek Plant is my favorite Sabre along with Donald Audette. Who didn't love Donald Audette? And Donald Audette's such a great name to bring up when you think about all-time favorite Sabres for sure. Couldn't agree with that more. Thanks for bringing that one up. But yeah, my final thoughts on this game. Give me more. Feed me more of this because this needs to be the effort every night. And if you can get that power play going, get Tage heating up even more, get Cousins and Quinn shooting more, they're not gripping their sticks more. You get this team heated up a little bit, and you get Paterka back. You get the power play going. This could be a very competitive team. I still think you need more than two lines. And again, I hope Kulich is a mainstay in this lineup because it gives you flexibility up and down your lineup to spread some of the wealth around to that third line. And that's been one of my biggest things in the offseason is just not having a legitimate third line scoring line. And if you can slide a Benson or a Kulich down to that third line, you could very well have that. You could. So I think Kulich has looked fantastic. I just want to remind you guys, it's been brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 300 beers to choose from. We did our live pregame show, episode 164 or 165, live from the Fatty Beer downtown. Just so you know, at the Fatty Beer downtown on Sabres game days, it is $5 drafts for all Mug Club members. And I'm not sure if this is just like a permanent thing or if it's a different beer every Sabres game. But this past, again, it was a Wednesday or Thursday. It was Thursday night when they had the home opener. It was $5 draft beers for everybody. You don't have to be a Mug Club member. Everybody got it. And I tried it. I'm not a big beer drinker, especially craft beer. It was really, really good. Very, very good. Really enjoyed it. So make sure you get over to Fatty Beer. My final thoughts are this: keep your foot on the gas. Don't let up, and keep playing this brand of hockey. Bodies in the net, protect the front of your net. Be in that goalie's kitchen every chance you get. Let them know that you're there, and dig for the rebounds, because you don't need to score always on skill alone. I think if anything with a Lindy Ruff team, you're going to find out fast that he expects pucks and bodies to be in that constantly throughout the game. Fatty Beard will definitely hit that up when I travel home for the holidays. Yes, please. And let him know. Matthew, let him know 2 Goalies 1 Mike sent you. Whether you're going to the Lancaster location, the Kenmore location, the downtown Buffalo location, there's a location in Orchard Park. I think there's like 7 or 8 locations you can go to. Make sure you let them know that Duane and Connor from 2 Goalies 1 Mike sent you. Sabres, blue and gold. Greenway is a leader. He plays with an edge. Grit, sandpaper. Why can't Cousins or Krebs play such way? Leads by example. I think Krebs definitely plays with an edge and plays with sandpaper. I disagree there. Cousins, I think he can. We've seen it from him in the past. I think, once he starts getting on that score sheet more often, it gets more comfortable. We're going to see a very much better version of Dylan Cousins, for sure. But that being said, guys, I want to thank you guys for hopping on with me tonight. It's been a blast. Always appreciate you guys coming on, sharing your thoughts and your comments. Please do me a favor. If you're not following us already on social media, Built in Buffalo on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I think it's Built in Buffalo at Built in Buffalo _ on Twitter. I'm not 100% positive on the Instagram handle, but you can find us Built in Buffalo on Facebook, and find our show's handles. I am at Duane S39, as you see on the screen. Please make sure you're following me. That is my handle for both Twitter and Instagram, and at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. I'll bring it up right here on in the chat. Make sure you give us a follow. And if you're on YouTube, you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this video. Please like, share it with your friends, do whatever you got to do. Please just make sure that you help us out and get the name out there. And, no other podcasts or platforms come on with you after almost every single Sabres game the way we do. We work very hard, and we just appreciate the support. Me and Hurls put a lot of time into this. That's our on Instagram and Twitter as well. You can find us on YouTube. Make sure you please subscribe on all platforms. Same thing with Built in Buffalo. Make sure you hit the like button, please. We do appreciate it. And get down to Fatty Beer and have a beer and tell them we sent you. So you guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully the Bills make it a true 1 Buffalo weekend and get a win against the Jets on Monday Night Football. But with that being said, as always, go Sabres. And, we will talk to you on Tuesday night for another episode of 2 Goalies 1 Mike. Talk to you then.